So what I've done is I've created some slideshows. I didn't think a social media event would be right if I didn't have lots of memes, if I didn't have lots of pictures and one-liners and things like that. So it's going to be full of that. It's actually probably the best book I've written. Guys in the room, it's like heaps of pictures, hardly any words, and really easy to follow. So first of all, I'd like to make a couple of statements for a bit of thanks, really. Crown Catering, local Wollongong business who've supplied a couple of goodies for us to nibble on at the break. Integral Training Solutions. So where you are now, this is a training room for hire and things like that. So without this facility in Wollongong, this really wouldn't be possible for me. And the Real Estate Products Group is the two guys that you see filming who do all my real estate videos. So these guys are here documenting this as a part of a training that I'm going to be providing to everyone. So thank you very much. Also, everyone should have received a raffle ticket. So Sarah from Star Clinics has got a gift voucher that we're going to give to one lucky man or woman, and both men and women can use it. Okay, so stay until the end and you'll get your little prize. Also, what I'm going to do for anyone in the room who's happy to give me a testimonial, I've got a video set up just around the corner here. If you give me a testimonial, what I'm going to give to you is a free consultation to come into your businesses and work out where you're at, what you want to achieve, and then give you a bit of a roadmap and a go-forward plan to get you started on this path in social media and trying to get your business out there and get heard. Okay, so it's around the corner. Don't be shy. If you mess up a take, it's okay. This is not going live to national news. All right, we can do it all again. Okay, so everything's around the corner. You can do it at the break or at the end if you like. So who am I? Well, I'm Adrian D'Amico, and a part of my story really comes from, like I said, I own a real estate practice in Wollongong called Harcourts, and what I faced as a business owner and, for the last 8 or 9 years is really problems to do with staff and obviously new business and things like that. Can we have a show of hands? Who are the business owners in the room? Okay, most of you. And who's a consultant, media consultant, or an advertising person for that business? Yeah? I say only one. Great. Who's on Facebook at the moment? Is there anyone not on Facebook? One person. All right. 2? Okay, there you go. That's fantastic. Well, you know, good on you for bucking the trend. That's awesome. Okay, so look, my story, there was a turning point a couple of years ago. So I had started a practice from nothing. I bought it off my old boss actually, and we got sort of the rights to the franchise. So we kind of bought in at arguably a really bad time in real estate, but it was the right price to buy. So we took the leap of faith, my business partner and I, and we got into business for real estate. So we slowly started to build that up from scratch, getting into sales and property management and things like that. And around 2008, the market started to take a turn in Wollongong, and in 2009 we had this government stimulus coming through. We actually did extremely well. We, as a small business, as many of you would know, because I know a lot of you are small businesses, you do struggle to keep your head above water. There's lots of ups and there's also lots of downs, so that's a management process. And as I was getting a little bit better at the business, we started to have a really good turn in the market and we made a really good profit. So naturally, following the normal rules of business, when you have good profits, you want to expand. So I did that. I headhunted a few sales staff and I put on one and I put on 2, and then one didn't work out and I put on another one, and I grew the business. And what that actually did was, for me, was it did almost the opposite that I thought. So I thought that if I duplicated myself 3 times over, I would have 3 times the profit. But essentially what it did for me was it took my time away from the dollar productive activities, because when I had more staff issues. I had people that I had to follow up on and check up and make sure that they were doing the right thing. I had to you know, with some staff, it's almost like you're a bloody psychiatrist sometimes. You're working out their freaking problems, you know, and sitting down and getting them through tough points and things like that. But it actually got to a point where I had this moment where I was sick in the guts. I was getting heart palpitations. I was getting really sort of nervous and anxious all the time because my bank account was going down at a rapid rate. I wasn't actually selling as much and spent all this time on staff. And my wife, who keeps us in the black, right? So she's our bookkeeper for the business. And she said to me, if you keep going the way you're going, we actually probably won't have a business soon. So I had this moment, a sick feeling, because it's like, I just built this for 7 years and it was going so great. I mean, we had cash at the bank. You know, I went to borrow money and the bank said, well, you've got so much money in the bank, why do you need more money? And I said, well, it's my own, I want to borrow yours, right? So I was very cocky, but it was dwindling. As a husband, you know, I see myself as the provider, particularly coming from a European family. That's where we were brought up. We were the providers, and that's the role that I took on. Was, you know, I've got 3 boys, and my wife works for us 1 day a week. So, you know, we're in a position where there's a lot riding on. This is my family, and I had to make a decision. I rang a really close friend of mine, a mentor of mine, and we had actually I didn't ring him, we had a Skype session, okay? So it was basically do or die. I had to get some balls and I had to make some critical decisions in my business to change because I was going broke. And I'm an optimist, you know, I actually always see the glass is half full, and even though I might be really crumbling inside from an external point of view, I always put on a smiley face because that's just the type of person I am. But I had to wake up to myself in that moment and say I could not have a business, and this could be in the next 3 months. So I had some really hard, tough conversations with staff, and within a few months, I just got the broom out, so to speak, and swept all the dead wood, and I started all again. I really had to dig deep because in real estate, you make a sale today, and Chris, you would know this, you don't actually get paid today. You get paid, it actually exchanges in a couple of weeks and then it settles in 6 weeks, so it's an 8-week period. It's like if you were a painter or if you were a concreter, you would have a 130 to 180 day account. Because that's if I made the sale today. The truth of the matter is that it takes 5, 6, sometimes 8, 10 weeks, 12 weeks to sell a home, then you've got to wait your 8 weeks. So I had to start to reinvent myself basically. Because I had all this challenge with the staff, I had this situation where I really needed to do something different and reinvent myself and become that superstar salesman that I really wanted to be and not the manager. I faced reality is that if I didn't get my hands dirty, then this business was going to go down the toilet. So I actually went and spent a lot of money, which is something that you probably shouldn't do when you're running out of it. So I went and found a training course, and it was all about positioning yourself online so customers would find you, not you find your customers. So in my space, and I don't know what a lot of you guys do, but we ring people and we door knock and we letterbox canvas and all those sorts of things, and we hunt for business. Then we get a lead and then we try and nurture that client to a point where they may want to buy something or sell their house. So this strategy was not that. It was actually almost the opposite. It was like I would created identification for myself, a positioning in the marketplace that made me stand out amongst the crowd of other people in my industry and become an expert, become someone who's got authority, someone who is seen to be giving value without asking anything in return. So what I did was, and some of you in the room I know, I don't know, but there are a few names that I recognise, and there's a couple of people that I have done business with because I started a couple of things. First of all, I took on the initiative of creating how-to videos. So my first step was to get into the video side of things, and I started offering people tips and hints on how to sell property, and then I would do a report on how's the market in Wollongong, and I give some people some insights. It's the way I saw it from the coalface. So I got a YouTube account and I started putting videos up on YouTube. And we'll get into a lot of the how later on. But what I'm trying to explain to you now is just the fundamental shift it did for me. I'm not here to say to you that you're going to make $1 million next week, because you're not. Because everyone knows that when you're in business, who works the hardest? The business owner. Who's there when they open up and who's there when they close up? It's the business owner usually. Unless you've got a fantastic business, well then good luck to you, and I'm envious of if you're in that position. But as far as I'm concerned, the business owner works the hardest. So I started to get online. And then from this training course, I created a show. I thought, how could I get into a community-based show which had no ulterior motive from a real estate perspective? Because let's face it, real estate, do you know that people on the list of trusted organisation groups, what's number one? Can anyone tell me what number one is? Ambulance. Okay. Do you know what the last one is? What's the bottom?
Door knock. Oh, yes. Real estate agent?
Yeah, it's telephone marketers, and real estate agents are above that. Do you know who's above real estate agents? Just one notch above.
Sex workers.
Prostitutes. So it means that in my industry, people would rather trust a prostitute than a real estate agent. Okay? So I'm fighting an uphill battle here, right? I really have to define to my market that I'm someone that they should listen to, that they should trust, that they should say, you know what, I like what he's saying. I really engage in his information. But also I had to come up with a community side of things, because in the past when I've done community things, I just give the club my money and then they put a banner up, and then you know what I feel? I feel like you owe me. I just gave you $1,000. Where, am I getting business out of this, or is this just a feel-good thing, right? So I thought, well, stuff this, I won't do it. I will do something that's community-based, that's for the community, it has nothing to do with real estate. And I started Wollongong TV. And Wollongong TV was purely based around interviewing local businesses and promoting their business within Wollongong and putting them on Facebook and YouTube and sharing their message. So this led into ebooks. So I've written 3 ebooks. Okay, so yes, I'm an author. They go for about 16 pages. It's, very in-depth reading. So as a result of this, I started to get recognised. One company in Wollongong who was doing a lot of online business type marketing said, we need some guy who's going to do blogging and information-based blogs for our site based on real estate. They had 6,000 subscribers. So all of a sudden, I'm still going broke at this point, okay? So I'm clawing my way back into my business. But all of a sudden, I'm starting to get invited into arenas that I had no idea about. I didn't know what Wollongong Online was. And now I'm being exposed to 6,000 subscribers on a monthly basis. So I've been invited to do talks, I do how-to videos. My Harcourt's organisation said, come and talk to our group about what you're doing, because we know that social media is something that we really need to get involved in, but you seem to be doing it differently. And really, that's my story. That's how I come to get involved in all of this. Now, and I'm not saying I'm making a fortune, but 98% of my business is coming from online. I don't door knock. I don't telephone prospect. I don't do letterbox shops anymore. Everything revolves around what I do online, and all my lead referral source comes from people opting into my information, asking for my information. And all I do is communicate to them on a regular basis, and I provide value, and I provide value, and I provide value, and I provide value. And then every now and then I'll ask for, do you know a buyer? Do you know a seller? Are you thinking of selling? But I do it in such a way that I've almost kind of guilted people into giving me business because I've given so much to them. So this removes the typical salesperson stigma of being, that guy who just wants to sell my property, and all he wants is a sale. And ultimately it led us here, or led me here. So this wouldn't be possible without my social media presence. So for business owners in the room, I hope you're realizing that I've created this from my desk and from my lounge at home. And I've managed to get 40, 50 people into a room to present to. And there's no sales pitch at the end here. I'm offering this information. I've done it for other companies, and now they're consulting me on a basis that come into my business, help us strategize, learn, show me what you're doing. And so now it's evolving into a massive opportunity for me. But it all started because I started something online. So if you're a business owner in the room, would you like to know how to do a workshop like this? I mean, if you had 50 people to present to, and you could say, well, maybe I could get 10 or 15 customers out of that, would that be good for your business? Would anyone like 15 customers straight away? All right, so I can teach you that. And this is all sparking on some really great ideas that I know that I can pass on to other business owners about creating these events. So I've already got the room. If you're in Wollongong, you can come here and do the room. It's all set up with your projector, and I can teach you the strategies and the formulas and the way that you send out your emails and your videos and how you get people involved in your message and buy into it and turn up. All right, let's put this into context. Who remembers this? We're going to show our age here, come on. I know I'm 25, but I mean, let's show our age. Okay, who remembers this? I remember my dad buying a computer very similar to this. And I remember the time that he got like an email address, and then we was getting on the internet, and we got this Encyclopedia Britannica CD. It was like, you know what? It's a full CD, and it's got all the Encyclopedia Britannica, just this one CD. And we already had the books, They were decaying on the shelf. So it was about $2,000 worth of, yeah, they were all there. They were decaying. No one read them. I remember reading it once for, something in high school. I never do anything with it. So, and I remember saying to my mate, he goes, oh, you can get on the internet. I go, yeah, but it costs a fortune. It's like $2 a second or something like that. Who remembers this? Hey, the bricks. Yeah, I remember Mum and Dad losing one on the top of the roof. It fell down, and then it didn't even break. I think people were running over. It still went back, and someone found it, and we picked it back up again. Who said in this room, lying is the devil? Who said the internet was a fad, or it'd never really go anywhere? Anyone in this room would bold enough to say, I don't think it'll go anywhere? Just one half hand. Who said they'd never get on Facebook? So we only got 2 people in the room that are not on Facebook. Who said, I'll never get on Facebook, it's for girls, 13-year-old girls, and that's it? Me? Who got on Facebook, realised that they had one loser friend, and then got off Facebook? Me too. My friend that I used to work with said, you've got to get on Facebook. So I got on and I put the only photo that I had. And then she made this comment because she goes, ha, you only got one friend, it's me. I'm like, oh, this is kind of embarrassing. So I cancelled. And I got out. Who said they never typed this? Hey, we're grown men and women. We're typing OMG, WTF, LOL at the end of the sentence. You don't even know what the fuck it's for. You just basically say LOL just because, you know, you can. Does this give you the shits? Everyone looking down at their phones. Yeah, someone in this room said to me, I think people are going to get off social media and start talking face to face. You know, they're over it. Do you think it's going to happen? No. Me either. So the reality is that the internet is the number one culture shift of our time. And innovation doesn't care about you or me, it's just going to happen. Unless you figure out how to use it or to just run over you. Meaning that social media is not a fad. You can't say that it's just something that will run out of time eventually and someone will go into something else. Because the thing is, even if Facebook does die in the arse, something else will take its place, but it will still be social media based. And when we talk about social media, one of my mentors that I follow, Gary Vaynerchuk, it's people, they misconceptualize the idea, they say it's social media. It's not, it's just the freaking internet. It's just the internet, it's just a program. Applications have been made for years, right? So it's just, we're just talking about the internet. Marketing has changed. So what's happening, the way I see it, people are marketing like it's 1990 in 2014. So we're still doing, in my space, a lot of print media ads, okay, paying good money for print media ads. Where in some of these businesses, I've seen billboard advertising and bus signage and things like that. So people are still doing those sorts of mediums thinking that they work. People are still running ads on radio and TV, right? So again, to put this into context, has anyone seen a stop text while you're driving ad in like a campaign? Okay, so the thing is that if you're a business owner in this room and you've got a billboard sign, they're not even looking at your billboard. They're not even concentrating on driving. They're looking at their phone. So it's no longer word of mouth, it's word of mouse. And what I mean by this is that there's a tail end to your message, meaning that now with this social media space, you basically got an information or message or something you can put out there, and on average they say that each Facebook user has about 200 friends. And the thing is, you can what? Like it. And when you like it, you see, oh, my friend liked that post. And so it starts to send a message to someone else. And you can also share it. So I see a post that I really like and I share it on Tim's page. And Tim really likes it and he shares it on someone else's page. So it's 200 friends, 400 friends, 600 friends. And it's their friends of friends. So it's an exponential growth in terms of reach. So here's the problem that I see with the way people are treating the internet and social media. They're acting like it's a one-night stand. All right? So it's kind of like when you first remember, for married people in the room, you first remember meeting your partner, there was a courtship. There was a time where you got to know each other. You went out on dates and then the friendship grew and the emotions grew and then it led to another level and then it led to another level. What people do on Facebook is they go, how you going? You want to sleep with me? Right? They're basically hitting you up first time. Buy my shit, buy my shit, buy my shit. There's no relationship building. There's no rapport building. There's no giving of value. It's just look at me, buy my stuff. Who sees a Facebook page or a post that's continually just a sale? Can you remember one? And what do you do after a period of time? Do you just keep going into it? Great buy, great buy, great buy. No, you tune out. It gives you no value. There's nothing to engage in. So the solution is engagement. It's not about how many times you post, although that's a factor. It's not really about what your product is, although that can be a component, or about how great your offer is. It's about getting customers engaged in your brand. It's getting them involved in what you do. and asking questions and sharing and liking. And that's when you see fan pages that have got so many likes, and then they've got this little component that says talking about this, people talking about this. And the people talking about this is something that's just ignored because most people don't know what it is. So, but what it is, it's how many people are liking and sharing. So if you ever see a Facebook page or a business page that's got 3,000 fans or 6,000 fans, immediately you're like, wow, 6,000 fans. But then if you look at how many people are talking about this, sometimes it says, I saw one that has 6,000 fans and 3 people talking about this. So what that means is that got huge fan base, no one's engaging in their message. You'd rather have 200 fans and 100 people talking about this, or 50 people talking about this. Your ratios are much better. You don't need 1,000, 2,000, 10,000 fans. Although it's fantastic, you don't need it. You need people talking, engaging in your business and in your message and sharing. And that's when 200, 400, 600, 800, 1,000, 2,000, 4,000, 10,000 people see it. So, the key thing for you guys to understand is who is your customer. In order to know what your customer likes, thinks, acts, and all those sorts of things, you need to know who they are, right? And the way that people view social media and Facebook is that it's actually disengaging the community. It's actually making people not talk to each other or not get engaged, or you don't get to know people. People don't meet anymore. It's all about sending a message. But the thing is, Facebook and Twitter and things like that allows you to engage in people's interests. So people go, I like that show. I really like Go the Blues, Go Queensland, right? It's all about, I like that footy team. I just bought these new pair of shoes. You're getting valuable insight to your customers through a couple of mediums. You get to know what they do, what they like, how they act. And so before long, you can start to identify, well, what's my age group? Are they between 25 and 50? Are they mostly 25 and under? Are they 30-year-olds? Are they 50-year-olds? What are they? Where do they act? Are they mums and dads, or are they mums at home? So if I'm posting something at 7:30 in the morning, what are mums doing at 7:30 in the morning? Getting kids ready for school. They've got no time to look at Facebook. Although 70% of people look at Facebook as soon as they wake up. So, but the thing is, mums are too busy to look at stuff. So if you're targeting mums for your makeup or for your skin treatment, a 7:30 in the morning post is no good. But if they're stay-at-home mums and kids go off to school at 9 o'clock, or maybe they've still got bubs at home, but he goes to sleep or she goes to sleep at 2 o'clock in the afternoon till 4 o'clock, well, maybe 11:30 or 12 o'clock post is a really good one, right? Because what do? They sit down, relax, or if they get a 5-minute break, which most mums don't, they get on Facebook. So you need to know your customer. Humanize your brand. This is a key learning, right? The qualities that people like in real estate, the qualities that people like in real life are the same qualities they like on social media. Okay, so if I like Greg because he's an honest, upfront guy, his message and his personality comes through online. If you want to convey a message to your customers that you're straight up and down, you don't bullshit, you don't muck around, you tell it how it is, people will see that because that's how you are in real life. You don't have to be something that you're not, is what I'm trying to say. People think, I can only post something on Facebook if it's freaking funny, right? Or if I'm going to get a laugh out of it. Or, they want to try and stir something up. Maybe it's drama, you know what I mean? So let's just create a little bit of controversy and things like that. If you want to humanize your brand, be yourself. Be yourself online. So social media, I learned this from Gary Vaynerchuk. If you don't know who he is, look him up and look into his message. He's fantastic. Social media is a sweet science that people really underestimate. And the method to really focus on is put in a metaphor, a boxing metaphor. Jab, 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 right hook. Jab, 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 right hook. Give, 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 ask. Not ask, 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 ask. give, then ask. Or give, then ask. The other way around disengages people. If you're offering someone a value, if you said, rightio, well, I've got so much value out of you. You know, you've given me everything I wanted to know. And as soon as you ask something, they're like, yeah, for sure, I'll buy into your stuff. You've never led me astray before, so I'm into it. Get them involved in your content. So, content is king, context is God. And what that means is you've got to tell a story. You've got to put things into context. You can't just have, short one-liners and things like that are great, but if you just put up a photo and it's like, just something that's a kind of a nothing comment or it's a one-liner, people don't understand your story. They don't understand what's behind it. So you've really got to tell your story. One of the things that has worked really well for me is by telling my story. So one way that I tell my story through real estate is through my How's the Market blogs and things like that and videos, right? So I tell it from the coalface. This is how I see it. This is what's happening at open homes. This is what's going on with my customers. This is what's happening in the market. These are the stories behind it and why. Something that I also do, I'm only gearing a lot of this towards Facebook, but something I also do is personalize my own thoughts in the form of a blog. So this doesn't mean that if you're in a business that's the wedding industry, well, that's fine. It doesn't all have to be about weddings, right? It can be a story about how this led you to a friendship. And that, they got married. I was there. I was the DJ. I was the compere. I organised the wedding. But now we've been friends for 10 years. Our kids go to school together. People will buy into your story. And again, I use this in a blog format. So I tell people how I feel about life situations. Nothing to do with real estate. I just put my blog about how I see life's challenges, circumstances, events, and I put it out there in such a way that helps me give something like a solution to someone. But it's part of me. It's part of who I want to express. But it's got nothing to do with real estate. So the key thing is you're not one-dimensional. Everyone in this room has a story. Everyone in this room has certain interests. So if I got onto Facebook, I would know, and I know a couple of people in the room, that I know what Ben does for a business. Okay? I know that he was working for one company, just started his own company. And I know he's into judo, I know he's got 2 kids, you know what I mean? So we don't hang out every day. We don't talk to each other on the phone. Hey, how was your day, love? Oh, no, whatever. We don't go on about our days all the time. But I see what's on Facebook and I know exactly what's going on in his life. If I really wanted to acquire Ben as a customer, I would only have to send him to the judo tournament that happened a couple of weeks ago in Wollongong and he'd be my BFF for life, you know what I mean? So, because I know that that's what he likes. So in my space, we deal with solicitors and solicitors say, send us your business. And I always say, great. I'll send you business, but you send me business because all I get in return is what? A fucking Christmas ham at lunch, right? And I get once on Blue Moon they'll take us out to lunch and I'll spend $200, and for me it's like, well, that's fantastic, but I can't eat ham all the time. There's only so many ways that I can cook it. Christmas time I barbecue it and I slice it up and put it in a sandwich, and then it starts to go a little bit mouldy, so I cut that bit off and put the tea towel back on. In 2 weeks, I'm still fucking eating ham, But the thing is, I'm not getting any richer by doing it. I'm not acquiring any more customers, but these guys are not understanding my business. If they were really going to do something special for me, they would engage in my interests and know what I want, what I like, and maybe buy me, a bucket of protein powder. That would do fantastic. You know what I mean? Not ham. So if you guys are getting to know your customer, you're getting to tell your story. At the end of the day, you're personalizing your brand. You're humanizing your brand. You may not be an individual brand, so you might be a company. But people will start to listen to your message and engage in your content that doesn't have anything to do with what you do. But they'll start to talk to you like a human being. So it's not about the likes. You can have as many likes as you like. But it's not about the likes, it's about engagement. You can focus on targeting likes and getting customers that way, and you can buy them by promoting your page on Facebook and things like that. But the truth is that if people are not engaging your content, your Facebook page will die a natural death. It'll go nowhere. Be you. Right? What this is all is being you. You have your own kind of attractiveness. You don't have to be funny all the time. You don't have to be witty and quick. Okay, there can be elements to your business and people will start to buy into it. And we all know we're not going to get every customer, right? Okay, you know, if we're dealing with people one-on-one, we've all been in situations where we've had a customer and you know that you've got a vibe from them that they're going to be an absolute nightmare. This guy's not going to pay me my money. I can already tell. So you don't want every customer. Holy shit, we need a break. Okay, so listen, this is basically contextualizing everything as far as the why is concerned, giving you guys an idea about why, the psychology behind social media. The reason why it's not just putting something up on a fan page and then getting everyone else to like my page and then all of a sudden I'm going to be an overnight success. It's not that. It's about thinking strategically. It's about thinking about your customer, putting yourself in your customer's shoes and understanding what they like, what they need, what they want. It's all about humanizing your brand. Tony has an individual brand. He might have a company that provides a certain service, but he has a brand and it's individualized. So he can put something up that's on his Facebook page that could be something about him or an experience. So you could too. So at the end of the day, you need to get people engaged in your message. Become the brand itself. Humanize it.